Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Going Over. I am your neighborhood-friendly promoter, trainer, coach, and 43-year-old professional wrestler, Zack Primetime Reeb, and I'm joined alongside my podcast partner, the 7-foot wrecking ball, Paul Isadora. Paul, welcome back to Going Over.
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Not much. Long week, long holiday.
Oh, long week. It's going to continue to be like this, though, with everything going on, man. With all the trainings, with prospects. We've entered into. I don't know if we were ready for this. All the stuff that's going to be going on. No doubt, we're ready. We're ready for this.
Well, I know we're ready because you had talked to me and I was like, damn, I got training on Thursday. We got prospects on Friday. And then you were like, then we're training on Saturday, and then you can catch a ride back down on Sunday for your training. And I'm like, man, that's a lot. And you were like, nah, right. You're built for this. And I'm like,
that's right. Back and forth.
No, I'm not built for this at all, especially at 43 right now. I'm not built for this one bit, but that did bring up an interesting thing. I just went to the Ugly Dojo matinee show, and I had a real good time critiquing a lot of young talent. And we have a lot of young talent coming into prospects this Friday. Whenever this airs, we're going to be doing some post stuff, but you won't be there. So in your place of our first ever post production of Going Over, you will be replaced for the night by a great colleague and partner of mine, the ever obnoxious, always egotistical Dr. Haywood. And no, ladies and gentlemen, he's not a doctor. He cannot prescribe you amoxicillin, penicillin, or anything else you'll need. So, Paul, you will be with us in spirit.
All right, man. I guess that's the best I can do for a little bit, man, till I can get there and feel my obligations first, and then make my presence known.
Well, we're not going to let the good doctor take this over. He's not going to be doing this, but he's going to be doing that.
Got it. Sounds good, man. So we've on the last episode, we decided we were just going to start going crazy about, hey, what's going on? Why are people not sending their matches? It's like, are we being too harsh? Are we too honest? Are we I don't know. Do people not want our input? Is our input not worth what we think it's worth, or what is the missing ingredient here? What's the problem? Why are we not getting people to send us matches?
Well, the beautiful thing about prospects and having 8 matches and using nothing but young talent is copyright. Now we have all the matches we need. Not only will we be doing critiquing live and putting a brand new, very exciting 1-hour show fully produced up every week to add to Limelight, but we will also be critiquing those matches. So if you do not want us to critique your matches and you don't want to send some shit to the old boys over here, I've made sure that we're going to have plenty of matches to critique and plenty of match critiques, and we will tag and we will help wrestlers. Because that's one thing I found out this weekend was there's so much young talent out there, and there's so much to produce and critique and talk to them about. And a lot of stuff I did was just situational stuff with the crowd, because, it was a small ring. It was a very tight place to run a show. and the crowd, there wasn't a large crowd for the building it was in, but they were a very vocal crowd. So when you're in a smaller low boy ring, if nobody knows what a low boy ring is, when you're in a smaller ring like that, and you have the ability where the crowd is actually having a good time and interacting with the stuff you're doing. I mean, I saw somebody actually get a bigger and longer reaction from a fucking kick out than they did off of the rock bottom that drove the poor kid into the canvas before the kick out. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's audience participation. We talked about it before. And I think for our last match critique that we're actually going to pick for ourselves, why not, Paul? Why not critique ourselves? Why not? You said it. We got me. We got you. We've been talking about 900 fans. We've been talking about Bradley Rotten. We've been talking about all the stuff we put in to build up to a match. I haven't seen this one in a while.
Right.
So I say let's pick our fucking selves apart from about over a decade ago. And hopefully before we start airing some of this new stuff, people will send us some critiques, some matches to critique, and we can get moving on this shit.
There you go. All right, man. Let's just jump. Let's jump right in, man. Let's check it out. See what it's
Oh, the memories.
Well, obviously, the crowd is strongly behind you here.
Hey, back in the day, so let's take a pause right here. Let's take a pause right here, because I mean this is 10 years ago, and
Right.
I'm looking at this right now. First off, kids, enjoy the young knees and enjoy the back while you can, because moonsaults do not last forever. I just want to point that out. I like that I was working the crowd and I did my patent in moonsault, and you took the belt away from me to deliver a lot of heat, and I jump started the match. But as I'm watching this specifically, I feel first off that I knocked you down to a knee too early.
Okay.
When I'm going back and watching that. And then there's a point where I'm saying Zack the Giant Slayer, because we did that at the contract signing and you popped right up and choke slammed me. So I feel like we were going for that exact effect again to play off of the last time that we were in the ring together. And
Right.
the timing wasn't there. You didn't pop up at that moment right at, because you should have popped up as I was yelling Slayer, as I'm more experienced now, and shut my vocals off. And
Sure.
you popped up, and instead of grabbing me and goozling me again, you threw a clothesline at me. So I feel we're going way too fucking fast.
Right. Well, and then I'll shit on myself a little bit. This is one of my biggest pet peeves, right? So you hit me from behind and I sell into the corner, but I have both of my hands on the ropes as you're punching me in the face, right? Instead of covering up, defending myself somehow, pushing you away, doing something. And then obviously when you whatever the next thing was, then I sold that a little bit. But that's one of the things that when I watch my stuff, that's the thing that irritates me the most. It's like, because I tell people the same thing. Like, if somebody's, cover up, defend yourself, fight back, do something, right? Don't just stand there and let somebody punch you in the face over and over, right?
Well,
So,
for sure.
kind of my
I think
critique
too.
there.
I missed a golden opportunity for everybody out there. I had you in the corner and I was working you. I walked away to get my heat and you grabbed me. I think we should have waited. Think there's that word again. Fuck myself. You grabbed me in that choke right there and I started kicking your knee. I should have definitely gone up. And at that point, as I'm listening now to the audience, I should have started in on a 10, and then I really should have wound up number 10, and you should have grabbed me and brought me down off the rope in that choke. So, I mean, we're looking back at something we did, God, 10, 15 years ago. And I'm telling, you know what? I'm actually already jacked up and fucking motivated. Like, get your 49-year-old ass back in that ring. I'm going to get my 43-year-old ass back in that ring, and we're going to make things right. Damn it. Let's continue. Let's
All right,
keep
man.
going.
Back at it.
Oh, yeah. Motion sickness with the camera work, huh? All right, let's take a stop right there. So we're the first press slam was good. I think the second one was like, oh man, my dick is taking an extreme amount of 7-foot punishment right here.
That's right.
Just punishment. I mean, it happens, man. It happens. We went for the second one, and I didn't get up there all the way, and you put me down. And we talk about it all the time, where it's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. But when you look at it, you're like, yeah, going up real nice and doing a real nice one and getting us up there and making that one count. Once again, shitting all over myself. I know I'm getting to the ropes, and you nail me with a big line that I go over backwards, which we talk about going over backwards over that top rope, which I take that clothesline, a good hard clothesline backwards over the top, and then I extend the cell by hitting the guardrail. But you should have hit me with that press slam, and I should have found my way up quicker. Still selling though, but I should have got up and in position faster to eat that line over the top into the guardrail. And Rotten's out there working it. RIP to one of the greatest promos out there in NorCal. But you should have used I feel like looking back at it, you should have distracted the ref a little bit so he could have got a cheap little kick or an eye rake or spit on me or something. I could have chased him around the ring and lured us into it. I know he's legally blind, but hey, that would have been funny to watch him run around the ring. But there's just so much more looking back at it now that we could have done. But now we're selling. Now we're in
Well,
this.
and I was gonna say that I like the part that you were selling on the ground, and I was nowhere in sight, and then all of a sudden I just I'm stalking you from behind. I'm just planning my next. How can I hurt you more? Right.
Mhm.
So I definitely like that. The stalking portion. But let's jump back in.
Keep all over ourselves. Uh-oh. Oh, pause this right here. Yeah. Because that good. I was saying I forgot all about you pulling that table out so early, and I was thinking, are there rules to this fucking match? But you pulled that table out, and a beautiful tease on the table right there. You tell
Right.
everyone I'm putting him back through the table. So we're going back to we've now uh, gone back to 2 points of this story and building this matchup while we had so many fans there. Early on, I said Zack the Giant Slayer, and you popped up and went to grab me like you did before when you put me through the table at Work Farm Wars. And here you're pulling this table out saying, no, now I'm putting him through this motherfucker. Fuck him. So it's like at
Right.
this point in the match, you don't care. You're just trying to hurt me at this point. And the
Of course.
orders from Rotten, and you pick me up, and I transition onto the apron. I kick you in the head. I take a good run at you. You catch me, and now you run me past the table, and you have stopped me using one of the key points that we talk about every week. You use the ring as a weapon now, and the table spot has not happened yet. So
Right.
that
Well,
was
and then as we come back, another thing that we normally talk about, which is selling offensively, right? You just kicked me in the face from the apron. So when we come back from this, you'll see that I'm bent over selling, getting kicked in the face. So
beautiful. Pause that right there. Pause that bad boy right there. So first off, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Spiffy, who you saw in that the man with the big gluteus maximus that was very excitingly filming that. Mr. Spiffy, before Doc Haywood, before many after Drake Nelson and many others, that guy was doing a lot of editing and producing for us, and never got the props that he deserved, man. So Robert Redmond Corbin, Mr. Spiffy, boom. What you hit me with the big boot, man. It's a good big boot. And then one thing a lot of the young talent need to realize out there is that you pull back, right? You're pulling back to nail me, and I fire one off. And I'm not rushing this at this point. And you're selling. And then you go back again to really get that leverage to get me again. And I strike again. And then you just grab me and you shove me and overpower me into the guardrail again, and you're selling. You're selling again. You're selling these things that have just happened to you, and I just it gives time for the back and the forth. We talk about it in an episode coming up. Slow the fuck down. So I feel like when we were in the ring, things were moving too quick, but we also jump started this match, so it was supposed to go quick, and then it was supposed to slow down, and now we're in a situation. And I heard I sent you the link the other day, but I was talking to Mark Henry, and he said the problem is, like in AEW, nobody wants to wrestle the big guy because they're like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with the 7-foot guy? I can't do nothing. You can.
Right.
Good usage. Good selling, by the way, right now. But good selling.
Thanks, man.
Oh, you're welcome. It's like I'm sitting on the toilet. I definitely avoided busting that nut. Fucking heat magnet. There it is, baby. Weeks and weeks. What a jumper. All right, let's take a pause right here. Let's take a pause right here because, I mean, this is the prime example of what we talk about. Okay. At first, when I was watching it, I was like, damn it, I'm going to have to shit all over myself. And now I'm not going to have to shit all over myself a little bit for at the current moment, because there we are, right? And we're working, and you end up coming over that top rope. I kicked that manila hemp rope into your nuts. And then now it's like you're riding the old mechanical bull, and I'm over it, and I'm putting a lot of emphasis on this, and you're really selling. There goes my headset, and you're really selling this. And if you listen when I stop doing this, that crowd is going absolutely apeshit. And we talk about this so much, where we say it's the moment, not the move, that people remember. And those people are going ape shit in that building because they just saw a giant get the rope kicked into his nuts, and then they saw the baby face yanking that rope, and now you're riding it like a bull. That's something they're going to go home and remember. They're going to remember, hey, remember when the big guy, and then it's like drop kick to the head, drop kick again to the head, and then I jump up and you just snatch me out of nowhere. And it's time, because this is the most beautiful part of that ear that I guess we did have a pretty good ear for. You got this choke on me, and I'm holding it, and you can see yourself gritting to wrench. And as it's just something simple, And then as the crowd dies down, I slowly go down to a knee and finally start selling it. But then the audience starts chanting MPT and we start coming back up. We've come back up. We're working them. We're working them. At the height of it, you go to choke slam me. I get behind you, super kick. And then now we talk about it every fucking week. We say that big Paul at 7 feet, 300 something pounds takes a beautiful over that top backwards to the floor. Here we are. I land on you kind of, and I skin the cat back in. I got this place hot, and it looks like you're about to pull yourself back up onto the apron right now. But what do you think on what I just said right there? Because
So a little bit of I felt like I wasn't selling the nuts like you were just talking about, right? I wasn't really selling that because I was in the moment of I'm trying to choke the life out of you right there. So maybe a missed opportunity as well. Maybe it could be I'm choking the shit out of you, but I'm also kind of like grimacing, like this dude just did a number on my nether regions, and this is why I'm trying to choke the life out of him. So maybe just
I
weasel that in
agree.
there.
I agree. I didn't even tap on that, but I'm watching this match right now, and when this breakdown is over, what I see this match could have been and should have been, all the negatives and the positives so far. I think at our final breakdown of this, what we're going to have is just this unbelievable contest that if we were to do this, especially now older, that we're definitely going to slow things down. This
Right.
is I've now added to my bucket list. I was shortening my bucket list, and I was like, okay, third phase of this shit, I'm slowing it down. Now it's like, nope, we are not going into the retirement zone without coming back and finishing the bucket list on this one. I'm gonna have to not watch a lot of my matches because then I'm gonna go back and go, I gotta go do this one again.
Right.
15 years fucking later.
Right. Exactly.
Ah,
All right,
the
man.
disease, bro, the disease. Oh no. Is that the end of this?
That's the end right there.
All right, let's shut that shit down. So this is an easy one for me, man. This is an easy one for me.
Right.
I think I missed the second one, so that's I think we went a little too far when we went to do that one. That first kick was so good. I think when I go, but that's that goddamn word again. But so I'm looking at this match, right? And let's see if you agree with me. So I'm looking at it. Backflip, you take the belt away, you got the heat. We jump start the match. I go up, I give you 10, you pull me off. And then no, even if I knock you down to one knee, I feel like Zack the Giant Slayer, you're back up, you goozle me, you send me to the floor. Whether it's the back, whatever, you push me off the ropes, hit me with the big move, big press, over the top rope, we go to the floor. I think we're simple right there. With we could have kept that and kept it that simple and slowed that down a ton and got a lot more heat, right? The spot with the table was good, and the work on the outside was good. We could have sold the nuts a little bit more. This was obviously a shorter match because it was building. We were building this thing to a bigger match. The count out victory, totally wrong. Totally wrong. I took your heat.
Well,
I took it.
if you remember correctly, we wanted to go further with this. We were gonna do a double count out here. We're gonna do something where it was a double count out. Or no. It was gonna be something where we both were on the floor and you just weaseled into the ring, very much like the Alex Ace one that you just had a couple months back, right? It was supposed to be almost like a double count out. You weasel into the ring at the last second, and you get the victory. But I'm not down like this. I'm up, just couldn't beat the count, and then maybe I don't remember exactly, but could have rolled back in the ring, and I could have left you laying or something like that.
Match structure was wrong.
Right.
Match structure was wrong. We went too fast. So all you young guys out there, this is going back and looking at your stuff and going way too fast. Finish was wrong. We could have done double count out. I never should have beat you by a count out. You were trying to choke slam me through a table. We teased the spot. The finish of that match should have been you choke slamming me. Was there any rules to this fucking thing?
I can't imagine, but again,
there was rules.
It's not like you hit me with something illegal. You hit me with a kick and I fell off the apron. There just happened to be a table sitting there. I definitely think like
you should have beat me by count out, or you should have finally put me through that table and it should have been a disqualification. But you should have been up at the end. So when we go back there, and we say it countless times about the booking and how many mistakes we've made. So I mean, let this be a lesson to, it's been a lesson to myself, because my booking is would never be booked like that again. But a lesson to you guys out there, you promoters that are promoting and booking this. We did our job for months generating this heat and this angle, right? And as a so the fans are the consumer. They're the buyer. So we are the sellers. So that's why selling is so important, because me and you, Bradley Rotten, Sparky Ballard, in this sense, and any match you're in, you're the seller and the audience is the buyer. So as we're looking at this, the promoter, the owner, the promoter, they're the guy that goes out there and they advertise and put in the work to bring an audience in. Now they're bringing the buyer in to sit in the seat. It's our job as the sellers to sell the audience so that more seats get full. We're almost at capacity at this building. So if we do a better job of selling the product to the buyer right now, that building's going to be sold out. And then eventually, as this progresses, we're going to say, this is a cool venue, but we're going to have to find a bigger venue because 1,000 fans aren't going to seat in here, because the sellers are really giving it to the buyers and they want to buy. And the buyer, the fans, I mean, what do they want to buy? They want to buy keychains. They want to buy 8x10s and posters and action figures, t-shirts, beanies, hoodies, hats. And if it gets to a point enough, sponsors are going to start going, hey, this guy right here is such a good seller that I need to attach my business to to his back. I need to be on him. And that's the ultimate, that's the ultimate compliment, is when somebody wants to pay you money to represent their business because they think that it's going to drum up some more business for you. So I look back at that, man, and damn it, have we grown in this business in over a decade? Because I look back at that now and I go, what the fuck were we doing?
Right.
We had them.
Well, and I'll tell you this. It was, for me, this is me not speaking up for myself, right? I should have said, there's no way that my character is going to get left laying and you're going to be standing tall, taking the title belt back from the referee, and those things. But, I'm very much I'm going to do what the promoter asked me to do type of guy. Rather than, maybe I have a little different mindset now where it's going to be like, hey, what do you think of this instead? Right? What if we do this instead? But realistically, I mean, this, you went on beyond this, and having the feather in your cap of beating the giant, only helps you as you go on with your title reign after this. So big picture, it accomplished what it needed to accomplish for you to, now you're a guy that can beat a character like mine. But yeah, definitely I would have went to bat for myself a little bit more and just go, hey, I don't think that this is how it should go down. You're burying my character by beating him and being standing in the ring afterwards.
God,
So definitely a lesson learned, and for me, it's something where now you take a bad news, or you take an Alex Ace, or some of the bigger characters, and you go, okay, well, this is how you really sell their size and their being indestructible and things like that, right? It has to take something drastic to put them down, so I don't know. It's definitely a learning experience, and obviously that's the reason that we're doing match critiques. It's not because we want to go, hey, check out this match, look how awesome it was. It's, check out this match, here's the mistakes we made, and this is the changes that we would make if we did this again.
Oh, and we're gonna fucking do this again, because I'm a perfectionist, man, and I cannot look at this, even though this was, what was this? Was that 10 or, I knew it was over 10, but how long ago was that?
I'm trying to think of, I don't know if I can find out exactly.
God, that was a long time ago. But yeah, you're 100% right, man. Here I am. I mean, apologizing would just be lip service, podcast partner, and
so
I will change my actions.
It was posted 9 years ago.
Yeah, this is a decade ago.
January 13th, 2015 is when it was posted. So you got to assume it was right before that the actual match happened, right?
Yeah,
so
it was
basically
10,
yeah.
Damn it, it was 10 years ago, and here we are in this place in the podcast where these two dogs out here are about to get themselves a lashing real quick.
Oh, geez.
There we go. That's what they get. Hopefully they learn their lesson, the sty in the eye. Yeah, no, well, this is the thing where we learn, because I'm looking back at that now and I'm going, Zach, what the fuck were you thinking? Was this I don't think it had anything to do with what I was thinking. Maybe it had a lot to do with what I was drinking. You know what I mean?
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, because that was just stupid booking on my part when I go back to it, because you should have been up.
Right.
Even though we didn't make it to where we were going because we didn't get that next match, whatever happened, and you were unable to make the show and it was unable to happen, but you should have been up. It could have been a double count out. Like I could have ran and dove over and you caught and we both went through, but no, that's even too much. Like, we teased that table spot and it was a good tease, and you should have put me through that table. What I think should have happened There's that damn word again. So let's get that out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Think. It's no. I know what should have happened. What should have happened was you should have put me through that fucking table, and it should have been a disqualification, leaving me laying. And we could have even stretched it further. Rotten could have said, pick his lifeless body up and throw him in the ring. And then you guys could have started in on me, and we could have sent officials, and maybe James Hayter, someone was the president at the time, and we could have sent people, and we could have made it this realistic scene, and the Giant is standing over the top of Primetime with the belt, and Bradley Rotten's ha 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 laughing. And we could have really drummed up some sympathy for me and put some heat for you. And that's a testament to it, man. Like, being in your right mind and the booking and the way things go. We don't know what was really going on at that time. And we had a lot of different people working for us. But I mean, it's just simple stuff when we look back at it. We generated these people here, and man, I'm going to beat myself. I don't even know if I'm going to sleep tonight, beating myself up over the head. But, it reminded me of one time. AJ was just about to go to Tough Enough, and we did a Rumble. You were in that Rumble. And we were crowning the champion for the first time out of the 30-man last man standing Rumble. And we put over Scotty a boot. And it was around that time. And it was a mark booking on our part because we love Scotty, but the audience didn't even really remember him. AJ's over here. He's about to go to Tough Enough. So we're like, we can't put the belt on him because he's going to be gone. But he was hot. He was ready. That was when he was ready for the belt. And I remember Mike Modest came down, the old natural one, and he was doing commentary. And the show ended, and Scotty's the champ. And I went up to Mike, and Mike always just schools me and smartens me up, man, all these years. Mike, Ollie, a lot of guys. And I said, Mike, what'd you think of the show? And he said, oh, it was good, kid. It was good. I go, well, what'd you really think? And he said, well, I'll tell you what I would have done. He said, the belt was vacant. I would have put that fucking belt on that Giant, and I would have let him take a run with that belt. And whether it was you or whoever, I would have built a baby face to, over time, be the guy at the end, whoever it is that finally defeats this guy. And I just remember, here we are at this time when my coach came back, and now we're in this situation where Bad News Blakesley is that champion. And here we are 10 years later, and my coach comes back and says, who the fuck is this guy? And we're looking at it now, and we're going, okay, Mike was right. My booking was wrong. Here we are 10 years later, and now maybe things will be made right. The justice will prevail on this. But
right.
So let's set this up right now on the podcast. When does Big Paul make his in-ring return?
Oh man, it's up in the air right now, but it's watching these matches, it's watching young guys that I think I can help. It's all these things that are just like got me like chomping at the bit, man. I just want to get back in there, and I think that that training guys is gonna kind of scratch that itch a little bit, but probably not enough to satisfy the urge, where it's just like,
are we saying February 1st? February 1st, are you ready?
I don't know about that, man. Well,
I got the lottery. I got the lottery ball. I sent it to you. It's got 30 balls in it right now. I will go grab that lottery ball right now, and I will spin this, and I will reach in, and I will pull my number, and I will spin it again, and I will pull your number, and we will not reveal these numbers, but we will tell everybody the Wrecking Ball and Zach Primetime Reeb in the 2025 Last Man Standing Rumble. No, that was really good, man. Like I learned a lot about us right there. What would you? Now this one, I want to throw the floor to you, man. Here with about 16 minutes left. what advice, and it doesn't have to be a guy who's exactly 7 foot tall, but we're talking, especially in indie wrestling where there's not a lot of big, good workers, we're talking 6'3", 6'4", 280 and up, and it could be any range. What advice would you give these young kids on being a big man and a heel, a big, imposing heel on the indie scene in this modern era? What advice would you give them for getting better and succeeding?
Right. I mean, I think the biggest thing is something that somebody told me a long time ago, and that's protect your size, right? You got to protect your size. And a lot of that stuff, the way that you can do a lot of that is like I think about matches where I worked like a bear hug, right? And nobody got out of it, but as they started fighting back, I would release them so I could inflict more punishment on them. So it might be I got them in the bear hug and they're fighting back, and then I let them go and I just shove them into the rope so I can cut them off with something else, right? That way I can put more heat on them. But ultimately, I'm going back to that bear hug. I'm going to go back to that, and then just like we talked about in this match, where it was you're waiting, you're listening to the crowd. They want this baby face to fight back, and then when that starts happening again, they're not getting out of the hold. You were releasing them from the hold in order to put more punishment and damage on them. So I think that that's just the storytelling aspect of being the big guy and telling that story of you're just dominating people. And the only way that someone is going to beat you is you slip on a banana peel or you get overconfident. You're putting, you're putting punishment on this guy, and maybe you cover him and you pull him up, right? It's just, you know, in in your mind, you're doing things that are inflicting more damage. You're going to pull a guy up so you can beat him up more, but that's going to lead to your demise because you're going to do something that they're going to move out of the way of, or something along those lines where nobody's really beating you. You're beating yourself because you're missing something. And I remember going to a seminar where Kratos was working Matt Stryker. And Matt Stryker did a seminar before this show, and you and I have talked about it. I'm a student of this game. I want to learn from whoever I can. Matt Stryker was in the WWE, and in my mind, this guy has got so much to share. So even though I don't even think I was able to wrestle, I think maybe I don't know if I had a torn ACL or ruptured Achilles, or I was hurt. I remember like I was just standing in the back and just listening, and he was talking about something in this seminar. The big guy's beating him up, and then he goes to give him something, and Matt Stryker's just going to roll out of the way. The guy hits it, doesn't hurt himself that much, shakes it off, but the babyface is still laying there. So he tries to give him something else, and the babyface rolls out of the way again. So inflicts a little bit more damage on himself. The babyface just pulls himself up in the corner, um, and then the heel comes charging, and the babyface moves out of the way. Boom. So now he's basically gave himself three different bumps, and now the babyface has got a little window of opportunity. So just trying to tell the story, understanding the story that you want to tell, and then putting things in place where this is the way I'm going to tell this story. This is the psychology in which I'm going to tell the story. moving forward. So protect your size, tell a good story. You know, and I've heard it from Luster, heard it from someone else. You know, I can't make people think that believe that wrestling is real, but I can make people think that my character is real. Like that, if you met me outside in the parking lot and you know you wanted to heckle me like you did in the ring, um, that the reaction is not going to be the same as you're a fan and I'm trying to get your reaction. The reaction is going to be more of physicality and, you know, I'm a man outside the ring and I'm going to show you that this is realistic. So just the believability, telling the story, protect your size. I think that those are the things I would, you know, try to express to these bigger guys. You know, whether they're just getting in, whether it's something where they need to make some tweaks to what they're currently doing, or just like us, as we're watching this match and going, I wouldn't do that again, or this is something that I would tweak and I would make this different. You know, those type of things. I think it's important for all those levels of people to understand.
Well, when I'm thinking about it, and it was some advice I was given the other day, is every shot you're giving a guy, let him sell it and go to the audience. Give this guy an opportunity and an opening, like we were talking about. You're here. Give this guy an opportunity to give you a shot. But if you are a big guy, excuse me, and you are just and you're just crushing him with shots over the back or relentless offense, he's not having a chance to sell. It makes you look weak. It makes you look weak because you're hitting this guy 2 or 3 times and then you're trying to go to the next thing. So it's like, this big guy is fucking beating on me. And then now we're going to go out of the corner. We're going to go off the rope. So it's like, whatever I hit you with, sell it. Pull yourself up the rope. And it's my job. It's my job after I hit you to go grab some heat. That's my job as the heel, even whether I'm big or not. But a big heel is, boom, I crushed you with something. Bam, you're down. Now you sell. I can only get my heat and I can only offensively sell something as long as you, as the baby face, the hero, as long as you are selling for me. Then I have to do my job, because the more I get on you and the more aggressive that I get, the less heat I get that I'm able to pick up and the less sympathy you're going to get. So I think as the big guy, when I'm watching some of this stuff, is like, bam, I just hit you with something big. Go grab that heat from the crowd. Let this baby face start to generate some sympathy. And that's what I see a lot in the heels that they're not doing, especially big guys, is they're not letting the baby face sell, or maybe the baby face isn't selling. There's a lot of, like I was saying earlier, we're sellers. We're sellers, man. Like, you could not know how to throw one offensive move but a forearm. That could be all you know how to do so far. And I can take your ass in that ring, and as long as I can whip you into those corners and ram your head in the buckle and shoot you off those ropes, and as long as you keep selling for me and not dying, we can get 5 or 6 minutes out of nothing. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, I just showed up at this show. Oh, your opponent didn't show up. Oh, fuck, man, I drove 3 hours. What am I going to do? I got this kid with me. Well, who's this kid? Oh, this is fucking John Doe over here. You know, this is Johnny Buttfucker. And, well, what can he do? Well, he can sell. So I can go out here tonight and get myself over, and this kid can get me over. You know,
Right.
maybe I destroy this kid in what? You know, I destroy this kid in 5 minutes, and that's not good enough because he booted me in the face one time, and I'm not happy about that. So I come out the next couple shows and I beat a couple guys in less than 2 minutes, and I call that kid back out and I say, you kicked me in the face, and as fast as I beat these kids, that's what I'm gonna beat you. You know, you won't last. You know, what was the time of my last match? And you ask the timekeeper, and he says 2:31, and you say, next week, me and you, the time limit is 2:30 because I'm putting you away before 2:31. And the nobody kid survives past 2 minutes and 31 seconds. And it drives the big heel crazy, and it elevates somebody into something, and it gets this guy over. But yeah, we're at that less than 5 minute mark, Paul. And I'm so glad we picked that match, because sometimes we sit here, as we've been doing this a while, and I'm motivated for all the stuff we got coming up, you know.
Of course.
Prospects every first and third Friday of the month here in Yuba City. You know, Big Ugly on X Street in Sacramento has the Ugly Dojo shows. East Bay Pro's running. SPW's running the third Saturday of every month, and they've got a lot of stuff going on for the young talent. WCWF, I just saw them announce another show coming up. You got a lot of stuff coming up, man. There's so much coming up. I just broke it down, and we're doing, like, with your shows and everything, we're at about 50 something shows already for 2025, which is insane. And I'm like, Zach, how many of those shows do you plan on wrestling in 2025? And I'm like, 5. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go out there for about 5. But when I see stuff like that, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing with the disease. And I call this a disease, you know what I mean? Is like, I look at stuff like that, and I look at you right now in this thing, and I'm going, fuck that, man. We gotta right this wrong. And the wrong that was written was that the way we formulated, the way we worked this. And man, I guess I'm gonna have to go up, and I'm gonna have somewhere, whether it's Reno, whether it's Sacramento, whether it's Yuba City, Red Bluff, Redding, Oroville, back at that convention center. I guess I'm gonna have to take one good choke slam through a fucking table, and at 43 go out there and slow it the fuck down, and get this one back from a decade ago, because that's the beauty of this, right? Like, isn't that the beauty of this as we're closing out today? Like,
Right.
how much you learn, how much you get better. Like, because 10 years ago, we thought that was okay. And then here we are 10 years later, and we're like, that wasn't okay. That was wrong. I took your heat. You should have been up. I mean, you just said it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think we talked about that in another episode, right? Just about just the ability to say no. And it's so funny because when we talked to AJ, and I was talking about being hypocritical on some of his views and thinking, oh, you're wrong, I'm right. And then same type of thing, not saying no. But obviously in this today, the conversation will be different. We're both older and more mature, and think about wrestling a little bit differently. So we'll definitely make those changes when the time is right.
For the subscribers.
What's that?
The subscribers, keep subscribing, keep watching, keep liking. Point up there, Paul. Point up there.
It's right here.
And it's down here
next episodes are going to be. Yeah,
it's down here too on your screen. And if you're interested, ladies and gentlemen, the Reno Wrestle Factory, it's right there it's pointing at you. It's pointing at you. We saw Eddie Thorpe, aka Carl Fredericks, give you a shout out online. The Wrecking Ball Paul Isadora is back in that ring coaching students. January 4th, Paul, you got the classes are starting again. You got students start to pile in. I got more students piling in. We know the Ugly Dojo is piling some students in. SPW is piling some students in. It's growing. there's a lot of young talent, hungry talent out here, and I'm seeing these kids, and I'm very excited about it. And I'm hoping they're watching. I know that when I talk to them, they're very adamant about listening. We got 10 seconds left here on this time. What do you got? What do you got for us?
Nothing, man. That's 2025, man. It's going to be the year. So
Yes.
just excited that we get an opportunity to go over.
Hey, Wrecking Ball, Zach Primetime Reeb. Check out the Reno Wrestle Factory. Check out Primetime University. We're going to put a schedule up here of all the shows. Today was a very eye-opening episode for me, which I didn't even expect to walk into. And if you're out there, just remember at the end of the day, we never stop training. We never stop learning. The sty in the eye. I'm going to pop this damn thing here pretty soon. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, hope this helped because it helped me and we're going over.